As the CEO of the organization, I'm glad to say we don't have a lot of times when the board has been in a dysfunctional mode. But when that does happen, I find the best thing to do is to use board members as peers to help each other get to where they need to be. Even as the head of the organization that's expected to know the most about what's going on with it, sometimes the hard work has to be done by a peer, asking a peer to step up in a different way.
Very importantly, the first and most important thing is to document it. If you can document what's happened and then share that with, say, another board member, or hopefully 2 or 3, then as a group, you can come up with a strategy to present to the CEO and make sure that, number one, the CEO understands what's going on. Perhaps they have a different view of it. Perhaps this is a big donor and there's inefficiencies because a big donor wants and demands certain things. Those are all trade-offs that one makes. I would never leave a board just because of individual problems. I would actually hope to find ways to work through these kinds of situations with other board members and ultimately in discussion with the CEO.
Board culture is a huge issue, and sometimes it can only be altered by a sufficient changeover in the number of people on the board. There has to be new blood. If the board is largely dysfunctional, first of all, the executive director has to bear responsibility for that. What has he or she done that has allowed that to come about? What has the board chair been doing that has allowed that to come about? Is it the choice of people we have brought onto the board? Is it the way we have planned the meetings? Is it a lack of engagement on the part of the chair and the key office bearers? So you need to look at your succession planning for people coming onto the board, the orientation that they receive as they come onto the board. Are you really doing everything you can to have made that person feel part of the organisation and really committed to its progress?
Board members are volunteers, right, in nonprofits. And so it really is indirect influence, right? I mean, ultimately, a board could, deselect somebody, I suppose, who's not working out very well. But usually the reason the person's on the board was at some point they actually had a real commitment and alignment with the vision and potentially could continue to be an advocate and an ambassador for the organization. So you usually don't want to burn bridges, even if somebody's not working out as a board member. And so trying to manage the relationship and provide a face-saving way for the organization or for the board and that individual to part ways is usually the right approach.